Let's bow our heads with prayer to center ourselves. Hey God, it's me again. Let your word speak through me. Let everything that comes out of my mouth be what you want to come out. In your name, amen. Could you guys turn to Proverbs 22, verse 6? If you get there, could you say bars? Because I think this verse goes very hard. I noticed that my kids aren't looking through their Bibles. Oh, okay, that's one. It's new lingo. The kids will like it. Ah, there's two. See, told you the kids would like it. Okay. Proverbs 22, verse 6 says, "Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they won't depart from it." Back when I was younger, I want to say I was about 4 or 5, I played with a whole bunch of different toys. I didn't have a lot of toys, but I had enough toys. I had some stuffed animals, I had some action figures, I had some Zoids, and instead of Lego, I had Duplo. And I heard some moans and, oh, yes, I didn't have your fancy Lego, I just had Duplo. Because it was something my mom and my dad had gotten us when I believe my older brother was a baby. So we'd had them for years. But we'd still kept playing with them. Now these blocks, they weren't fancy, didn't make any cool designs, but they were sturdy, and they lasted a really long time. They helped create great memories for me and my siblings. We made plays out of them, we made mechs out of them, we had a blast. Because even though we didn't have a lot, we played with them a lot. And they became something that connected me and my siblings. It's what connected us through creativity, through our imagination, and it became some core memories that even if I bring them up to my siblings, they will always remember specifically what we were doing that day. These building blocks have lasted so long. I had them so long, in fact, I gave them to my nephew when he was born, and now he's like 10. So, ironically, I believe those blocks are older than all of my students. This year, I've been teaching the kids about the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes are the start of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. It's how he introduces all the rest of his topics. From love for your enemy, turning the other cheek, to be honest, to be truthful, all of those focus back to the Beatitudes. They're the foundation, they're the building blocks of Jesus' ministry. They set the bar for where we should be. So throughout the year, I've been working with the kids to set the bar for them, to have the foundation. So as they go through the Beatitudes, as you heard earlier with our grade 3 and 4s, as they sang the song so lovely, they remembered being poor in spirit, those who mourn, the meek, the hungry and thirsty for righteousness, the merciful, the peacemakers, and the persecuted. Those 8 make up the foundation of what it means to be a Christian, and what it means to live a life of love. When you're poor in spirit, like I've taught the kids, it's when you admit that you need help. And that's not just admitting you need help in a spiritual sense, that means admitting you need help in a personal and reality sense. When you aren't doing well in your homework, ask for help. When you're not sure and you have a question, ask for help. It's the foundation. If you don't ask for help, well, you're not going to grow. You're not going to get better. And from there, we went to those who mourn, showing compassion to those around them. Slight humble brag, but these kids are very compassionate. You cannot find a single one of them get hurt at recess and not have a whole bunch of kids crowd around them and say, "Get a teacher quickly." You can't find them crying in the hallway by themselves. There's always somebody nearby. Some of the most compassionate kids, more compassionate than I was growing up, which kind kind of makes me feel embarrassed. Seeing them, I look up to them, and I know they don't want to hear this, but I look up to them for how compassionate they are to those around them. Being meek, being someone who's gentle when they lead. Understanding that you don't need to raise your voice to get people's attention. Sometimes it's just who you are. Not to be someone who's demanding or demeaning, but somebody who leads by example. Somebody who's kind to others and who's patient with all those around them. I've seen many kids in junior high who've been very patient with their classmates, and I've seen many of them in elementary who've also been very patient. They've showed me what it means to be meek, what it means to lead by example, not by force. And then to be hungry and thirsting for righteousness. To hunger and thirst for what's right. To stand up for people around you. These building blocks, as I go through them, they connect to each other. And they create a strong foundation. Because if you hunger and thirst for what's right, well then you'll be merciful to those around you. You'll care about those who aren't doing as well as you are, who are upset, who are sad. And by doing that, they become peacemakers around them. They don't cause drama. They prefer to quell drama. They prefer to be peacemakers, not just in the school, because I've seen many of them on their extracurricular activities, from sports games, tournaments, even outdoor school, where they would rather stop a fight and make peace with everyone. And then there's the persecuted. This is one we've been working on, specifically as our latest one, where we accept the fact that by following these foundations, these building blocks, we are going to have people who don't like us, people who are upset by us. Just because you're a peacemaker doesn't mean everyone's happy with peace. Just because you're forgiving doesn't even mean everyone thinks that somebody should be forgiven. I've talked to the kids about loving their enemies and how that goes beyond just people who we call our enemies, but people who we don't want to talk with, who we don't want to deal with, who we want to separate from ourselves altogether. These building blocks define what it means to be a Christian. They define what it means to see God's love. They're not fancy like lovely Lego. They don't make great things at first. But they're sturdy, they're reliable, and they're full of possibilities. And those possibilities can show God's love wherever we go. When we use these building blocks, when we follow them, we show everyone, especially you guys, you show everyone what it means to love God. If he loves you that much, and you can do the same, it'll do wonders. It'll go far beyond anything you can do today. Just like those Duplo blocks, I still remember them. When I don't see you guys anymore, as you get older, as we stop teaching you, I want you to remember these foundations. I want you to remember these building blocks, because they can be who define you.